to a brand new video, and I wanted to talk about my opinions on the gaming industry right now, and how things are going. I do I do want to start out by saying I do plan on purchasing a Switch 2. That's not because I support the game industry charging people $80. It's just the Switch was the most recent console that I was excited for, so therefore the Switch 2 is in the same boat. But for anybody who clicked off the video, or I guess if you watch this far, but I want to say thank you for anybody who's listened this far. As I don't, this is a different kind of video for me, but yeah. Anyways, where to start? I've seen a lot of comments talking about how people who want the Switch 2 have their heads so far up their ass and stuff like that. I definitely don't agree with that statement. I think that it's fine for people to want something. I also think that it's fine, like, I don't believe that if you buy a Switch 2, you necessarily agree with Nintendo's policies or the things that they do. With that said, I don't know why they're pricing the Switch 2. Well, why they're pricing the games like Mario Kart. I don't know why they're pricing it at $80. I don't understand that, especially when you consider the fact that the bundle for Mario Kart is only $50 more it's only $50 more than the regular Switch 2, which means that they only value Mario Kart World, I guess, at $50, but if you buy it separately, you pay $80. That's a $30 difference. You'd think that if they're taking the $80 into account, it would be, I guess, $530, I think is how it maths out. Whatever, it'd be more than what you'd pay. I definitely don't get that part. But yeah, to give a little bit more insight on why I'm making this video, it's simply that I just want to share my opinion, man. Like, I see all this complaining, and I'm like, shoot, like, I want to give my side on it. But like I said, like, 100%, I do think the industry is heading in a bad way, because even though I plan on buying a Switch 2, that does not mean that I'll be purchasing games for it all the time. And really, I want to play stuff like whatever the From Software game is. I literally just had the name of it in my head. Blood, whatever. It's a game that I want to play, and I don't know if it's going to come to any other console. So I'm kind of stuck buying a Switch 2. I also think that complaining about people buying a Switch 2 is a little bit redundant nowadays. Well, redundant at this point, especially considering the pre-orders sold out. So making comments like, oh, people shouldn't buy it, or people have their head so far up their ass, it's not a good argument. Because, like I said, the only thing that buying the console does is support Nintendo, but people have already done that. I wasn't around for the pre-orders for the Switch 2, so I have not spent any money on it. But, so I don't know how much Nintendo has made, as I don't know how many there were to pre-order. But you've also got stuff like Nintendo changing the end user agreement, the EUA, saying that they have the right to brick your console. I disagree with the notion that as a consumer, you are buying the license for the console, that is just pure bullshit. I think if I'm buying a license, it should be a lot cheaper than what it is. Or there should be some kind of option to rent the product so that, I may pay $250, but I get it for a week, instead you're asking $450 to $500 of my own hard-earned money for something that you're claiming I don't own. It's also not a digital product. This is a product you are putting on store shelves. But yeah, as for the bricking thing, I don't know. I've never modified Nintendo hardware. I did jailbreak my 3DS, but that was a year after they stopped supporting it. It was like a year, 2 years, however long. It was a good while before I did it. The servers have been long shut down. But so I don't plan on modifying my Switch 2 at all. So I don't see that affecting me. I do understand that it does leave people who buy the systems used in danger, because there's a lot of people who would, with their 3DSs, they would like hack them, and then they'd get banned online, and then they'd end up selling their 3DS to GameStop. I don't know if that's something maybe in consideration that they're trying to stop, because if my Switch 2 loses online access, I go sell it to somebody, but nobody's going to buy it if it's bricked. I don't know. I don't understand a lot of the smaller complaints. What if something is misread? What if there's a misjudge? You don't just get the console back. I'm almost positive they can restore online play to your console. I don't think that they can just unbrick it. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of safety net there that if it's a false alarm, they'll fix it. I don't know. Obviously, it's not out yet. But I don't know. I'm in a weird position where I understand both sides. As a consumer, it is my choice whether I want to spend my money or if I want to keep it. I also don't think that I don't think that there's any real good alternative other than games being priced at $50. I do hope that those smaller games do win out in the end. I recently bought Oblivion Remastered, and I look at it like it's Oblivion the way I remember it being. I've played Oblivion here on the channel plenty of times before, but it's great. There's some funny stuff. I do think the animation and stuff are very wild, but not enough for me to complain. It's lovable. I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it. My wife has been playing Expedition 33, Claire Obscure. She loves it. She's in fact recommended it to me countless times before, even before we bought it. She was recommending it to me from people that she watched play it. And that's a good sign. 100%. For somebody to recommend a game that they haven't played to somebody else who also has not played it is a good sign. That is where the industry needs to be headed. But sorry. But yeah, I wish there's an obvious solution here. And I don't entirely think that it is alone that AAA companies need to fall, because I don't know if it's the investors at Nintendo that that have asked them to price things the way they are. I also don't understand it because Microsoft came out and said that they're raising their prices, but they're doing that at the end of the year during the holiday season. So it's 100% a choice. At least for Microsoft, it's a choice. But there's some great games out there. And like I said, I do plan on buying a Switch too. That is 100% my choice. I'm not telling anybody else to buy it. I'm also not telling anybody else to, or I'm not trying to say that I support what is going on. And like I said, if this video blows up, which it very well might, just because it's such a hot topic issue right now, then I do expect backlash, and I welcome it. Please, whether you agree with me, disagree, hate me, comments are going to be left on this video. I don't know if the like button, like likes and dislikes are going to be on if dislikes are still a thing. I'm not going to alter this video. I wouldn't be making it if I didn't expect something to get said. But I definitely wanted to share my opinion just a little bit on it. And maybe in the future I might talk some more about it. And I might do a video after buying a Switch 2. And, you know, just see how my opinions are maybe a month in, 2 months in. And reflect on this video to see, like, oh, well, is it something that I regret buying? Is it something that I enjoy buying? I'm excited for it. I've been excited for it since they first revealed it. So I'm definitely buying one. Like I said, that does not mean that I support $80 games. It also does not mean that I will be buying $80 games all the time. Obviously, some games I'm going to buy, but it'll be at a much slower pace. There may be a game, and it may be one of those where I buy it on sale, because that's just how long it takes for me to get there. But I will say this, like Mario Kart World, I do plan on buying the bundle with Mario Kart. But that is the only way I'd buy Mario Kart, is the bundle, because $80 for a Mario Kart game is not worth it to me. I enjoy Mario Kart, but I don't always have friends available to enjoy the games with. So there's no reason for me. Like, I've had a Switch since launch day. I believe it was March 3rd, 2017. That is when I got my Nintendo Switch. The very same Switch that I've played games on before on this channel. I got it on launch day, and I do not own Mario Kart Deluxe on my Switch. I have considered buying it multiple times before, but can never bring myself to do it, because again, I'm buying a game that I'm likely to play by myself, a multiplayer game that I'm likely to play by myself, and who has fun with that? But there's still some cool stuff I really want to play again. Bravely Default is one I'd love to play again. And just see it remastered. I'm hoping they fix some of the issues with that game's pacing. But who knows? We'll see. But I do believe that, and this is a hot take for sure. But I think people feel at a fork in the road right now. You either go down the path of $80 games, expensive hardware, this kind of stuff, or you just stop gaming. And that is a very sad thing. And I think that's the kind of stuff that needs to be talked more about, rather than just, oh, Nintendo bad. You know, like, there's some very good points, and you are very valid if you choose not to buy a Switch 2 because you don't want to support what's happening, but it's already happening. The Switch 2 is not out. Microsoft has already said they're raising the price on their games to $80. Like I said, the Switch 2 is not out yet. It was announced. Like, this is something that we aren't even 100% sure is going to work. And Microsoft still announced it. Like, don't get me wrong. I know they're not going to change Mario Kart's price or any of the other prices on it. But I don't know, man. In a year from now, like, these are things that customers aren't going to forget. And another thing I wanted to talk about before I forget, game cards. You're telling me I'm buying a physical cartridge that just has a download on it? What the? Like, I was talking about it with a friend yesterday, as I had bought Oblivion Remastered yesterday. And I had to restart my router to get the game to download. And I was like, buying games digitally, I am fine with a little bit of inconvenience because I'm buying it digitally. I'm buying it for my house. However, if I go out to the store, and like, don't get me wrong, I know that like, if I go to GameStop, as that's the only place I can think of, if I go to GameStop and I buy Tears of the Kingdom, I am well aware that like Nintendo gets no money from that. Nintendo gets their money from GameStop ordering the physical copy, and then GameStop gets the money from selling the physical copy or what have you. At least that's how I assume it works. It could be a little bit different. Maybe GameStop gets a certain amount. I don't know. But I shouldn't have to come home and then wait for the game to download. I should be able to put it into my system and play it. I spent the money on it. This isn't a trial of a game where I play a demo and then decide later on if I want to buy it. Like, that's $70, like Oblivion Remastered, it's $50. That's $50 out of my pocket, 55, what have you, after tax. But that's $50 out of my pocket that I'm not guaranteed to get back. And like I said, buying digitally is one thing. It has to download, stuff like that. But even still, like, I shouldn't be able to play the first half of the game and then be forced to wait for a download. It should just, I don't know, man. Like, this whole idea that like you only own a half of the game or what have you, like, it's stupid. I also think it's incredibly stupid that, like, I have a PlayStation 5, but PlayStation, like I said, would let me play, like, Oblivion Remastered, it let me play up until you leave the sewers at the very beginning of the game. Let me play that before I had to wait for the game to download. Like, why even let me play that? Just let me, like, just download the game. But I definitely think this whole idea that game cards and stuff like that, it's definitely a very, very dumb system. I mean, I got my Switch right here. And I don't know if, like, it seems like the idea of game cards, because like I said, I've got my Switch right here. And I'm actually going to pull it up real quick. Okay, so I am here again. Anyway, so as you can see, I got my Switch pulled up, and I got the virtual game cards open on my Switch. I've been looking at this the whole time. It looks to me like this is just another way to download games. I got fucking Funimation, bro. Funimation doesn't even work anymore. But yeah, it just looks to me like it's a way to download games onto your system. Like it's, I don't know, man. Like load. Yeah, like it's downloading Master Duel right now. It's just a glorified re-download button. I mean, I like the idea that I don't have to go to the eShop. I like the idea I don't have to go to the eShop and I can just, go here and then like yeah, like see I do like the fact that I can just go here and be like, "Hey, I want to download Lego DC Supervillains." Well, like I said, I've never used GameShare. Nintendo Switch 2 users can use GameShare and can play together. So this is just DS Download Play, but glorified. But yeah, like I think the industry is in a definite weird spot, and I think that things would be better if I definitely think that things would be better if games like Clair Obscur do make it, which I do think it will. Like from what I've read, the game has had a $25 million budget and sold like 100 million, which right there is an automatic profit. Like I don't this has been done before and it gets done all the time where smaller studios make good games for cheap and then they they make smaller games, good games at that for cheap and then end up like making it. It's as simple as that. But yeah, like I said, I welcome everybody's opinion on this matter. Please, if you want to share your opinion on this video, please let me know if you watched it all the way through. Let me, call me a dumbass in the comments. I'm all for it, dude. I'm here for it. But yeah, that's my opinion on things that are going on right now, both good, bad, in between. I just, I wanted to share my thought as somebody who is a consumer, as somebody who is planning on buying something. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know if you want to see more opinionated videos from me. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good day, y'all. Peace out.